Martin Luther King Jr. rose to become a symbol of hope and courage. Through his speeches, marches, and peaceful resistance, he challenged oppression and awakened the conscience of a nation. His legacy lives on as a guiding light for equality and human rights. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Faith is taking the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are not makers of history, we are made by history. True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. But I know, somehow, that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. No one really knows why they are alive until they know what they die for. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. Never forget that everything Hitler did in Germany was legal. We must live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. One has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. No person has the right to rain on your dreams. Wars are poor chisels for carving out peaceful tomorrows. The time is always right to do the right thing. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? There can be no deep disappointment where there is not deep love. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. The choice is not between violence and nonviolence, but between nonviolence and non-existence. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. Lightning makes no sound until it strikes. Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhumane. The greatest purveyor of violence in the world my own government, I cannot be silent. Those who love peace must learn to organize as effectively as those who love war. The day we see the truth and cease to speak is the day we begin to die. Until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Find a voice in a whisper. A riot is the language of the unheard. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. A man can't ride your back unless it's bent. Almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. The quality, not the longevity of one's life, is what is important. Courage faces fear and thereby masters it. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. I am what I am because of who we all are. You are not only responsible for what you say, but also for what you do not say. At the center of nonviolence stands the principle of love. A man who does not have something for which he is willing to die is not fit to live. Babies, we are told, are the latest news from heaven. The road to freedom, it's a difficult, hard road. It always makes for temporary setbacks. Hate is too big of a burden to bear. I have decided to love. It is just as wrong, or even perhaps more so, to use moral means to preserve immoral ends. All men are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality. The universe is on the side of justice. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, a man dies when he refuses to stand up for that which is right. The surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. Justice too long delayed is justice denied. I've seen too much hate to want to hate myself. Non-cooperation with evil is just as much a moral duty as is cooperation with good. We must constantly build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear. I judge people by their own principles, not by my own. We are always on the verge of being mesmerized by uncertainty, but we must move on. Our lives begin to end the day that we become silent about things that matter. What matters is not how long you live, but how you live.